Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Mama Angel's Kitchen. It's Sunday afternoon. And yes, it is Soul Food Sunday. Tell you what we're going to be doing today, guys. I'm going back to my roots. This is a dish that my mother used to make often for us when I was young, and I just loved it. Anytime she made it, I just fell in love with it. So, it is chicken and gravy with mashed potatoes. Oh boy, and I think I'm gonna do some peas on the side, just canned peas, okay? My mother always did a three-course meal. It was always a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. And I cook like that today, guys. I really do. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at these ingredients and see what we need here. We've got our first star here. That is our chicken. I've got 3 chicken legs that I have washed off, pat dry, ready for some seasoning. And then this is our potatoes. I've just cut them up, just cube them up, just like this. And, not too big, not too small. It really doesn't matter the size that you cut your potatoes up. All right, guys, let's make this spice blend. Okay, I'm gonna start with a little of the Maggi Pollo. And you guys know I don't measure, right? I'm sorry, I do not. All right, and then I'm gonna go in with a little salt and pepper. I got this cute little spoon here, which is probably about a quarter of a teaspoon, okay? And I'm gonna do just that for the salt, one of those. Same for the pepper. Okay, and that's where we'll start there. Let's go in with some garlic powder. And, I love garlic powder, nothing wrong with that. The things that have no salt in it, do it till you're satisfied. That's what I say. There you go. Go ahead and use all of that onion powder. And I got another one over there. I'm not out of onion powder. Ground cumin. The cumin does not really come out of that shaker. So I'm going to go ahead and open that baby up and put it in my hand so that, you see how much came out of there? I don't want all that. So that's the reason why I put it in my hand when I open it like that, so I don't drop it down in to my spice blend that I'm making. So I'm going to keep about that much though, okay? And that's probably a good teaspoon, okay? But you don't want to put it down in there because you can't take it out. Once it's in there, you have to compensate for it because you cannot take it out. You can add where you cannot take away. And this is the last of my coriander, and it is so hard to find coriander. I tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and dump all that in there. So that's it of that. And I don't have any more of that right now. So that's it. All right, let's go ahead and mix this up and see what we got. See if I'm happy with it. And this is one of my simpler spice blends, okay? But we're only making 3. Got a little lump in there. Here we go. Break that up. We're only making 3 chicken legs, so we don't need a whole lot. All right, let's go ahead and give that a taste. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. But I don't know that I'm happy with the amount. I'll leave it and we'll go from there, okay? If I need to add more, I'll add it later. Okay. All right, let me clean this up and bring that's fine. Let's go ahead and bring the chicken into the equation. Get this out of the way, get rid of these. And you see how big these rascals are? Because they're so big, and because I want to get some flavor down into these chicken legs. Now, they aren't going to cook for probably about an hour total, because they will sit in that gravy and really smother. So some people may call this smothered chicken. I call it chicken and gravy. That's what my mom called it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put some slits down in here, pretty much down to the bone. Okay, let's get a sharp knife out. There we go. Bring out the heavy artillery. All right, there we go. On each side of it, I'm just going to give it a slit. What that's going to do is help me get that seasoning all the way through here. You can also do this if you want it to cook faster. This will help it to cook faster and a little bit more even. But that's not the reason I'm doing it today. I'm doing it because I want to get that seasoning down in there. Okay. Okay, that baby's stubborn. Come on, give me a cut. There we go. Both sides, give me a little cut. There we go. All right, let's go in with our spices. I'm just going to sprinkle it all right on there and use the other hand to, kind of pat it in. And then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to sit this, well, I'm not going to sit it to the side long today. Typically what I would do is I season it up and I sit it to the side and, let that seasoning soak in a little bit longer. And I'm putting my finger down in those cuts and getting some seasoning down in there, okay? But I let it sit off a little bit and let that seasoning soak into that protein a little bit. I'm not going to do that much today because I want to go ahead and get this chicken on, okay? And don't be shy with your spice blend, guys. Get it in there, okay? Really get it in there. The only thing I'm doing is I'm holding back a little bit, if I can, because I'm going to put some of that inside the flour that we're going to end up dredging this chicken in. And then we're going to give this a light pan fry just to brown it. And then we'll make our gravy. Okay. So if you have never made homemade gravy, never seen it, today is your lucky day. All right. Okay. That's good enough. That's a good enough little seasoning on that chicken. If you can see, it's not under seasoned. It's not over seasoned, but I don't know if you can see it well enough, but there is quite a bit of seasoning on here. Okay. And that's what you want. Don't be afraid to season, guys. That's where all your food, your taste come from. Okay, guys, we're back. I'm actually still here at the counter, but I wanted to go ahead and show you how I get the flour ready to dredge the chicken in, okay? And I've got this scoop here is probably a good tablespoon, maybe, of flour. So I'm going to do one. Let's do 2 of those. And that is probably plenty of flour for 3 pieces of chicken, okay? And then we'll use whatever's left over of that flour to make our gravy with. And I think we'll definitely have some. Let's do a little bit, just a little bit more. That's good. If we need more, we'll always come back and get more. I just do my best, guys, not to waste. I do not like wasting, especially food, especially right now. Food is expensive. This is the rest of that spice blend, okay? Right into that flour. And yeah, I'm going to put it all in there because there's not a whole lot left. And you know how I know if it's seasoned enough? You guessed it. I taste it. Guess what? Oh, yeah. There's seasoning there. I like that. That's good. But I do want, there we go. There we go. A little bit more garlic. That was a little bit of Maggi Pollo I put in there. And guys, all Maggi Pollo is, this is my onion powder. Maggi Pollo is simply a chicken powder, okay? That's it. All right, there we go. And let's go ahead and dredge our chicken in here. I'm just going to take 1 piece of chicken like that. Roll that baby around, get all sides of him. All sides, okay? Tap off the excess there. That's it. I'm going to put him right back on this plate. Take the, but this here, I'm just looking for ripples. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to see those ripples on camera. But it is going to take a couple of minutes for this to come back up to temperature where I want it. Well, not a couple of minutes, maybe a minute. So, yeah, it's rippling. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can. I see it. Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and drop this chicken. Okay. And when you're at home, you'll know what I mean your oil is shimmering and moving around in that skillet, that's rippling that I'm talking about. Okay? Just moving it around now, getting all the oil all over the skillet. And let's see, if I'm right, we should get a sizzle. There it is. Not as big of a sizzle as I was hoping for, but it's okay. It's a sizzle. Just give myself a little bit more heat, and then I'll probably end up turning it down. Okay, there we go. There we go. Get those babies in there. Let's turn it like that. Okay, guys, I'm going to get these browned. I'll bring you back once they're brown, and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Okay, guys, this is what you're looking for right here. See how it's getting golden browns on me here? That's what I'm looking for. That one right there is wrestling. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Then this one. This one here is a little light, but that's okay. So this is all I'm doing is just trying to get it brown on each side. I need it a little bit browner. Alright guys, if your skillet gets a little too dry on you, kind of like mine has, and if you see, I got them on their sides now. So I'm browning all sides. And I'm going to go back and pull just a little bit of that oil, okay, just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and pour it in between here and get myself a little bit more oil going here. This is one way that I can control using too much oil. But you know, there may be times when you may need a... Alright guys, I am happy with the color that we have achieved on this chicken. Okay, look at that. Ooh, that's beautiful. Just beautiful. Now you know, they are not done. Nowhere near done, okay? Let's not even pretend. So here we go. We're going to sit those over to the side. And we're going to make some gravy. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back and steal a little bit of that oil. Okay, and this is clean oil, guys. This is the oil I just poured out of there. And it doesn't matter if it's used oil, just as long as it's not burnt and full of, you know, burnt stuff in it. Because I do save, you know, when I fry, that's enough oil. So that was about 2 of these tablespoons of oil. That's enough. Plus whatever residue was left in there. You know, when I fry something, especially deep fry, that's a lot of oil. So I strain that oil, and then I keep it to use at least once, maybe 2 more times, depending on, you know, how dirty it gets. All right. First thing we're going to do, we're going to saute up these onions. Okay? Put them on in there. My mother can make the best gravy. And you see all those bits and stuff in there? All the pan drippings is what they're called. You want that. That's flavor. Okay? Oh, I done got an onion. You done jumped out the frying pan. Honey, you got to come back up in here. Now we need you to flavor our food. There we go. I'm trying to get away. That is flavor right there. Okay? I'm not necessarily even taking these to translucent. You'll hear that term a lot. You know, cook the onions until they're translucent. This means that they look like they're see-through. I'm not necessarily going to that point yet. I'm just kind of giving them a head start because they are going to cook for about another 40 minutes or so in the gravy with the chicken. And that's why I haven't started the potatoes yet, because the chicken still has a ways to go. So once I get my chicken on in that gravy and it's simmering away and cooking, then we'll get our potatoes on, because the potatoes are going to take about 20 minutes to cook. And so at that point, everything will be done around the same time, done hot and ready to eat. Okay? All right, let's go get that garlic. Get the garlic here. Just Let's get our garlic in there. All right. Stir that garlic for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to go in with our flour. As soon as you start to smell that garlic very well, you put something else in to stop the cooking of the garlic so you don't burn it, okay? And there we go. And that takes just about 30 seconds. And let's get some of that flour. Probably won't use all of it. We'll see. Okay? What I'm doing right now, guys, you guessed it, we're making a roux. Okay? Same thing we did pretty much with the mac and cheese that I did last week. You know, we started with a roux. That's the same thing here, same concept. Started with the roux, and a roux is nothing but equal parts flour and fat, okay? Whether your fat is butter, like I did last week, or your fat is a vegetable oil, like I'm doing today. Okay, you just want to go ahead and cook this and let that raw taste of the flour. That's all I'm doing now is just cooking that out. Okay, and that's going to take, you know, a couple of minutes. Okay, just a couple of minutes. And then we'll go in with our liquid, i.e. our chicken broth. You could definitely go in with water here. My mother always went in with water here. That's before, you know, chicken broth was a big thing. Nowadays, everybody's seasoning up their gravies and stuff like that with chicken broth. But, you know, my mother made it taste good with water and her seasonings. So, but I am going to, you know, modernize it a little bit. I'm going to use chicken broth. And then we will season it up from there. All right, we're just about there. All I'm doing now is just asking myself, do I want a little bit more flour? That's all. Because one thing, when you're making gravy, guys, you can thin it out, but you cannot make it thicker, okay? You cannot go back in with more flour after the fact and make it thicker. That flour, just adding it to an already made gravy, it's just going to clump up, okay? So that's all I'm doing right now. And the reason I can tell, I'm looking at the moisture around the onions. See, because we have onions in here, it's not going to look like the roux that I did with the mac and cheese, because, you know, that can become a little more thinner. You can kind of see what you're working with. But with the onions in here, the onions are soaking all of that up. So I'm just looking at how wet my onions are. Do they look wet to me? You know, that's all I'm looking at. So you can see kind of the dryness and the cakiness on there. That's all I'm looking at. And I'm judging from that how thick my gravy is going to be. And trust me, that judging is just an educated guess, guys. Okay? I won't know until you guys know, and that's when I get the liquid in here, which I'm about to do right now. Give that a quick stir. Let's go in with our chicken broth. I'm probably going to want to whisk from here, but let's start here. All right, start slow. A little at a time. See what you're working with. Okay. A little at a time. And I know I'm going to have to go back and get some water. And that's okay. That's okay. Dripping here. Okay. Here's where I'm going to give myself a little bit more heat. If it slows down on you too much and it stops cooking, just turn your heat up a little bit. All this time, guys, I've been working on a medium low. On my stove, I've been working at a number 2, and I just turned it up to like a number 3. I just gave it a little bit more of a crank just to, it's on a good number 3 now, so it's still probably about medium on my stove. Okay, and you see how thick that is? So we definitely going to want it thicker, thinner than that. Okay, but if you, I'm just trying to wait now for the temperature to come back up, which won't take long. But if you keep adding and it's too cold, or should I say not hot enough, because it ain't cold. But if it's not hot enough, it will start to clump up on you. You don't want that. Okay? All right. Let's go in with a little bit more. Just holding the glass over here because it's dripping. Trying to minimize my mess, that's all. Okay, let's check my fire. Here, let's give you a little bit of a look-see here. You can see that flame at all. See, it's not high. It's not high at all. I'm gonna bump it just a little bit more. That's a 4 right there. And that won't last long. I just want this to start cooking. I mean, I don't want it to get too cool. You know, because I am making gravy, and in order to do that, you want it to come to a bubble, not a rolling boil, but you do want it to come to a good simmer. Okay. All right. Yep, let's go in with the rest of this. We're looking good. We're looking good. Well, let's see. Let's stop there. You don't want to go in too much too fast because it will clump up on you. You do not want clumpy gravy. Nobody wants clumpy gravy. Nobody does. Oh my goodness. Just reminds me of a story. My younger daughter, they used to love malto meal. And if you don't know what malto meal is, it's kind of like grits, but you know, sweet like an oatmeal. Switch over to my whisk here. And we used to make them malto meal all the time when they were kids. And my mother, of course, was a much better cook than me. The woman can cook circles around me, y'all. But anyway, my mother made it so much better than I could. I always had lumps in it. It was just hard for me to figure out how to do that and not make lumps. I asked my daughter one morning if she wanted oatmeal for breakfast or malto meal for breakfast. She said, "Yes, please, Mommy, but can you make it with no bumps?" I laughed so hard. All right, let's see. I'm going to add some water to this because this is pretty dense. So there's a lot of chicken broth in there. All right, guys. Here we go. I hope my videos don't get too long here. It's just, there's just certain things that I want you to be able to see, because if you don't know how to make gravy, you know, me pausing it right now would, you know, it would be deceptive, I think, in teaching you how to make a really good gravy. So, I'll try and shorten it in other areas so that you can see this, okay? Try to be mindful of what my time. But you guys let me know. Give me a comment down below. You know, if you want me to shorten it a little bit more, or if you're okay with some of my 30-minute videos. And hopefully this won't be more than 30 minutes. And the longest I've done was at 44 for the greens. There was just a lot to see there. Okay, this is about at the texture I want it, and the amount for the amount of chicken that we have. Now I do go a little bit more watery than necessary for 2 reasons. It's going to thicken up while it cooks. The other reason is there's, you know, that coating that's on this chicken is also flour. And so that flour is going to come off of that chicken into this gravy as well. Okay, so that's going to thicken this up as well. All right, so, but here is where we want to give this baby a taste and see what we we want to do to flavor it up. Okay. Woohoo! Doggone, that's good already. Ooh, that's good. Okay. The only thing I'm going to go in more with this, I'm going to take that fire down. See how it's bubbling? Now is the time to really take your fire down to low. Okay. This is, oh, no. That's garlic salt. I do not want salt in there. There we go. Garlic powder. Ooh. Good thing I didn't go heavy on there before I noticed that. Okay, a little garlic powder. A little onion powder. All right, guys, I forgot to show you that I forgot to put in my red pepper flakes. So I'm gonna go light. Okay, I got concerned about my extra salt there, so I was trying to combat that and forgot. Okay, little handful. That's it. That gives me just a little bit of heat on the back of the tongue, which pleases me and doesn't offend my family. All right, the other ingredient that I told you we were going to use today, but we are not, is the soy sauce. And that's because I made that mistake with the garlic salt. So we don't need any extra salt of any kind. And if you can see how this is already thickening up on me, and that's because of the extra flour on the chicken, okay? So I'm already gonna go in with a little extra water here, just a little, okay? But I know that I'm gonna want a little extra water, and I'll be doing that throughout. So anytime your gravy gets a little thicker on you than you want, and you're not done yet, go ahead and add yourself a little bit of water, okay? You can add yourself a little more chicken stock or chicken broth if you have not reached your salt level that you want, okay? But if you have, then just use water. All right, guys, we'll be back. All right, guys, let's look in on our chicken real quick. All I'm doing is, just kind of scraping the bottom of the skillet here, because some of the, the flour and stuff will start to stick, especially as it starts to come off of your chicken. And unfortunately, I didn't come back and show you guys where it was sticking. But, check it periodically, and if you get some sticking, just go ahead and scrape that up. Okay, guys, our potatoes are boiling. Okay, they're not done yet, but they have been boiling for a couple of minutes. When your potatoes start boiling, you want to start making your cream sauce so that you're not putting in cold butter and milk and stuff like that into your potatoes. Oh, you know what? My eye doesn't want to light. Why not, baby? Come on. All right. Let me fool with this light because I need it. I'll be back. All right. There we go. I love a gas stove, but every now and then, it gets temperamental. All right. On a low heat, I'm going to start with the butter. And for that amount of potatoes, I'm going to go with, don't be kidding. I'm going to go with a half a stick of butter. Let's just not try to fool the public. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's get that butter melting down in there. I don't know if you can kind of see down in there, right? Let's see. Get you good down in there. Well, there we go. Okay, got that butter down in there. I'm going to go in with some cream cheese. And this cream cheese is softened. Okay? And I'm just breaking off, let's see, about a quarter of this 8-ounce, thing of cream cheese. Get that down in there. Okay, and let me get a rubber spatula, because this is a non-stick pot, and so I don't want to scratch it, okay? And then, wiping some of that cream cheese off my fingers. And then, guys, I'm going to go in with just a little bit of chicken broth. And if you can tell, I've made this one a whole lot weaker because I'm just using this as a thinner, okay? And that was maybe a quarter cup, okay? And then we're going to go in with some of our milk, okay, like that. And of course, some of our cream. A lot of our cream. Okay. And all I'm going to do, guys, is let this all come together. Okay. And let's see, right on down in there. And I'm thinking I'm going to pour it all, you know. Sometimes I make more cheese sauce than I need, and I don't pour it all, but yeah, you can see it's not, I'm just looking to see it at the watery consistency. There isn't any. So, yep, I'm comfortable pouring all that in there, okay? So this was probably about 2 pounds of russet potatoes, okay? And you can use any kind of potato. It does not have to be a russet. But this is probably about 2 pounds of russet potatoes. And if you're not comfortable pouring, that's probably about a cup of liquid that I made. If you're not comfortable with pouring it all in there right away, pour half of it, mix it up, and then come back and add more until you get the consistency that you like. Now I'm gonna go right on in with my hand mixer. Sometimes I will use my stand, but I'm going to use my hand mixer today just so you guys can see, and because I'm not really making all that much. So I'm not going to let you listen to that noise. I'll be back and show you what it looks like. All right, look at that, guys. That is beautiful. Just look at the creaminess of that. Just beautiful. Okay, now for a little bit of seasoning. I'm going to go in with some pepper. Go in with just a little, see that? Just a little bit of salt. If you could even see how much that was a small pinch, okay? Because I like gravy on my potatoes, and my gravy has enough salt in it. So it's gonna bring salt of its own, okay? I am gonna taste this. I know it's creamy the way I need it, so I don't need any more cream. I don't need any more butter. I'm just tasting for seasoning. Perfect. Perfect. All right, my little secret weapon here, guys. We're gonna fold in a good tablespoon of sour cream. When I say good, about that much. Okay, pop it in there. Okay, let's get that off of there. Oh man, and you just want to fold that in. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back, and here it is. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. So good. Look at that plate. Look at the chicken. Oh, that is chicken and gravy, or smothered chicken at its best, y'all. Got some sweet peas to go with it. And that mashed potatoes with that gravy over it. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I tell you what, I can't wait to eat this tonight. This is it for me. This is Sunday dinner. Soul Food Sunday. Right here, y'all. Back to my roots. If you like this video, guys, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, come on and join in. I'm gonna keep it coming. To you, those of you who have recently subscribed and you are new to Mama Angel's Kitchen, welcome. welcome and thank you for joining in. Thank you for your support. Thank you to every last one of you guys who have joined in and your support and watching and your comments. I am loving it. I really am. Okay? Once you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Mm. My goodness, guys. My goodness. That is fantastic. Okay? You guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. If you miss me on Wednesday, you won't see me again until after Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. I am so super thankful for every last one of y'all. I really am. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of these potatoes if you try them. And the chicken. Come on now. Don't forget the chicken. I love you guys. Stay prayed up. I'll see you in my next video. Good night.